Okay. Interesting. Hey, Black Hole, how's it going? Okay. So we gotta use skill or cosmic, and there are... Okay. 9 path fights, and 2 copies of the boss. We have to switch people out periodically. Alright, a little bit weird. This is fine. Yeah. Let's start small. Hey, Bleezy, Warrior. I am feeling better. I unfortunately still tested positive this morning. And when I say positive, I mean the test was supposed to run for 15 minutes and the line was bright freaking pink about 30 seconds in. So, still pretty fresh off the whole COVID thing. But I feel infinitely more alive now um, than I did Wednesday in particular, and for the first half of Thursday as well. Wednesday was bad. I saw myself in the mirror and I was like, "Oh, Jesus. This is exactly what they mean when they say someone looks pale." Anyway. Hey, thank you. Whoops, that was my fault. And by my fault, I mean I made the wrong call. Woo! Rude. Very rude. Oh, you know what? I just realized I don't. Of course I forgot this. Oh, come on. Alright, let's turn willpower back on, shall we? I took a calcify fight in Alliance War earlier. I'm sure that will shock many of you. Hey, Zeno, how's it going? I'm glad you've been enjoying Patriot this season, man. It's cool to see. I'm not... Bluntly, I'm just not going to waste my limited voice on that warrior because I will be recording a video on it before the end of the weekend. I'm honestly still not 100% sure, Hayden. I think Viv is probably my top ask. I've had a soft spot for her for a long time. And I'm pretty sure I still have a tech gem. I don't know the exact tuning of the event, but I do remember in very clearly that Mike did say there'd be more than 3 tokens. So I'm also wondering what else I might do. I literally just answered that, Bleezy. Forgot that the auto block charge works on specials because everything has different rules. I don't know, Aiden. I just said I don't know the tuning of the event. Jesus. How did that much stuff even fail? Like, in fairness, terrible idea fighting him specifically with Hyperion, given the power gain. Should have flipped those two. I think I'm just going to restart this. Because I'm half paying attention. Oh, whoops. Okay. Let's try the team select button this time. Yeah, this will be fine. Hey, player. Oh, I know, Blazy. That is not much more than I've said before. That's how that fight goes. Jeez. Yeah, I generally agree with that black hole. And that's kind of the point of the updates, right? We wanted everyone to make sense. Whew, that was some bad lag. Take care, player. Anyone from Omega Days? I forget if my mole man is duped. I know I'm missing some of them. I was pretty lucky in that event, though. I'm not sure anybody sticks out. That was brutal. Hey, buddy. You want to throw that? Thank you. I did answer written out loud, right? Cassandra was Eclipse. I literally can't remember sometimes. That's funny, Aiden. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Hey, how's it going? Yes, I am planning on making that video, Normax. Just a little behind on account of COVID. Yeah, Leader and Falcon are pretty solid for this tactic, where you can both do really well. Uh, Maybe Mo, but if you're asking about the, like, 0 points visual bug you were talking about earlier, I don't have anything to share with you. Like, sometimes things are not parts of the game that I work on, and you're better off just submitting a bug report. How's recovery been? It's been okay. This is the third time I've had COVID, and it was definitely worse than the second, unfortunately. I hate the way compelled duel works, where sometimes it doesn't come on at all, and then sometimes it's like just enough to catch you with something that would have been a safe dex before. Have a plan for the reverse controls warrior is basically what it comes down to. I already said a couple times this stream I don't know the full tuning of the event, Breton. So, like, let's just leave that for when it's actually announced, shall we? Yeah. Do it. I mean, it's always the same answer, Retin. The event's details aren't out. Don't ask me. Sorry if I'm a little bit prickly today, but, like, you're not new here. Yeah. No, I'm glad you appreciated the stagger one, Aiden. Because that one surprised me when I went digging for it. Because I was really surprised. Like, really? He was the only one with that still? Oh, Jesus. Sorry, somebody's driving by and, like, my eardrums started moving to their base when they were still 500 feet away. I have no patience or appreciation for people who disrupt everybody else like that. I'm glad you're enjoying Nico Mo. I don't comment on stuff like that. Yeah, that was a weird one, Akbar, because that doesn't normally happen to me. But like I hadn't clicked anything besides like, the go live page and then it pulls up like the stuff that where you're starting to set up your stream. I hadn't clicked start streaming yet. I hadn't even opened OBS. That was very weird. Oh. That's a good question, Shurkin. Injury reduces a percentage of positive physical resistance. Physical vulnerability just reduces physical resistance. And the difference there is that physical vulnerability can make it go negative. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are then immediately thinking, well, then why ever use injury? Isn't it just strictly worse than physical vulnerability because it won't make things go negative and therefore won't amplify damage? And the answer is like, not really, because of how design works. And by that I mean physical vulnerability and vulnerabilities and armor breaks in general are all very powerful because they can take damage negative. And once those resistances go negative, they're no longer subject to diminishing returns. I've talked about this in videos before. And so you can get really big damage spikes out of those. But what that means is when we're designing and when we're tuning, we have to be careful with that, right? Like Photon's energy vulnerabilities are a significant part of her damage, but they are smaller than they would be um, if they were the equivalent of like an injury thing, because they're there in no small part because she's intended to take mystics. A lot of mystics have energy resistance, and so Photon wants to strip away their energy resistance. We didn't really have a good version of energy injury at the time, so to speak. So I went with energy vulnerabilities, but we kept them pretty small to make sure that it wasn't ballooning her damage, because the important part there is that we have to factor in both the resistances that somebody's chipping through and the effect it's having on a vanilla fight, right? Because if you give somebody, like, let's say Photon again, even though this is a terrible matchup, it proves the point. If you give Photon a strong enough energy vulnerability to cut through, let's say, Bishop's energy resistance, then it's going to make her do like 3 times as much damage or more to somebody who just has energy resistance of 0. And you can't really afford to do that as a designer, right? And then on the flip side, if you build somebody around like, okay, well, I'm tuning their damage around this like ×3 multiplier that you're getting from negative resistance or negative armor, then their damage is going to feel much worse against somebody with armor or resistance, which is weird because you would think that they would be tuned to kind of cut through that. They should be better than normal, right? And they are better than another champion in that spot, but they're worse than they are in a vanilla matchup. And so that leads to some weirdness. And an effect like injury is intended to kind of solve that weirdness, because you can put a like 100% injury on a champion so that they just ignore positive physical resistance and not worry about them amplifying their damage by taking physical resistance negative. And it makes the tuning and the design much, much simpler. Yeah, that was a long-winded response, but it was a good question. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna catch up on chat a little bit. Hey, Travis, thank you for the wishes. Nice, congrats on High Evolutionary. I don't know exactly where he's gonna land on defense. I fought a boss last war. That'll come out of whenever I get to the week 3 videos. I still need to do the week 2 war video. Um, but I also think High Evolutionary is better on offense than a lot of people clocked early. So I took him to rank 4. I needed the prestige. It was kind of a birthday present to myself. Where exactly that fits for you, I don't know. But yeah, I took him up to rank 4. It was worth it for me. I'm placing him for my alliance. The prestige mattered to me. I like him as a two-way, not just in battlegrounds, but in general. But yeah, mileage may vary. Congrats on the pull. Um, it's not fully locked in, Mustafa, but as a slight tease, this may finally be the year when I am on a live stream. It's never worked out in the past because most of the time when I'm up there, I miss them by a week or so. But we're looking at one later this week or later this year, excuse me, not this week, as a possibility. Am I rooting for someone in particular to get the vote rework? I'm most interested in Winter Soldier and Loki. Um, but I don't know. I don't feel very strongly about any of them. I think Winter Soldier is the one I feel the most strongly about. Because Winter Soldier was actually my very first, I want to say, 5-star rank 4. He was the one I ranked down when Kabam gave out a rank down ticket, and then he became both my first and my third 5-star rank 4. This was way back, like before the Killmonger synergy even existed. My other two were Magic and Hyperion, setting the stage for when this was. But I used Winter Soldier to just cut through a lot of stuff off the strength of his different ammos and his what you call it, his power drain. That's a deep cut. And so it would be nice to update him. That would be kind of similar to updating Voodoo or something for me. It'd be cool. But I mean, they all quote deserve it. They all could have updated models. They were put in the vote for a reason, and so whatever happens, yeah, we'll see. No, Akbar. That's why it says reduces positive physical resistance. It doesn't do anything at all to negative physical resistance. It'll just not do anything. I actually don't know what exactly has been announced for the Summoner's Choice rework, so I'm not going to answer too many questions there. Um, I also forget exactly what has been said inside, so I will say they will get a new model. I think I already implied that. Um, and the designer for that is still up in the air. And I think that's about as much as I can say there. Seems like trying to say champ design is more complex than we thought. It is, it's a constantly difficult job. Bluntly. Her spotlight isn't out yet, so there's not much I can say on Cassandra, but Cassandra is not a 5 out of 5. Say that. Yeah, that's an interesting one for sure, Kat. He could also be the first champion we ever rework and leave alone at the 3-star or 2-star rarity, whatever it is. I know that's not a great answer, but yeah, we'll see. Hey, Gilberto. I don't think Modoc is as much stronger on defense as people think. There, a lot of abilities were cleaned up there too. Like, he's gonna be annoying as crud if you run into him on in Battlegrounds without a counter. But like, is he gonna be more annoying than Medusa if you don't have a counter? Eh, I don't think so. Whoa, what the heck was that? He punished my heavy before I could. Or he punished my medium too before I was able to do it. That was really weird. I have given Rivals a shot, Aiden. I hate his animations. That's really annoying. I was hoping to throw the special 2 there. Aiden, we are literally in a shared Discord server where I played Rivals and you commented on it. If you seriously flush this from your memory. Don't put them in the same sentence? No, no. I stand by it. Because if you run into MODOK without a counter, it's going to be a very similar experience to running into Medusa without a counter. Okay, well, there's an auto block that triggers parry. I guess I'm throwing heavies now. Like, her heavy counter is easier. Don't get me wrong. But I stand by it. Oh, I have to swap all of them? Okay, well then I wouldn't have brought Medusa. That's fine. Annoying, but fine. Winter Soldier was my first 6-star, so I've got some nostalgia there. Yeah. Nostalgia is definitely a lot of it for me. I mean, the next few years is a long time. Even if I had the authority to rule out more idols, I wouldn't publicly here, and I don't. Yeah, if we get another one, I'd like to play with it, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're probably still seeing how these go. Yes, I would like to design a Summoner's Choice champion. Not at the expense of somebody else who matters to me, but I'm open to it. That does include this. If Winter Soldier wins, I would. I'm not saying I would design him, but I would make sure my hat was in the ring. Let's put it that way. As opposed to, I'll be perfectly blunt, if Ghost Rider wins as looks likely, then I don't see myself fighting for that because I've already built a Ghost Rider, and that would feel selfish. I think you're confused, TC. MCoC doesn't stop true accuracy. He does stop true strike, which is significant. But the other true effect is true sense, which is exclusively cosmic. That's only Hercules and Red Goblin, if I remember correctly. So going after True Strike and True Sense was focused, mostly at Cosmic. It does hit a few skills, including Killmonger. I'm not going to pretend that I love that particular piece of collateral damage. But yeah, true accuracy was left open. All the skill champ true strikers, Cat? Aren't there like two? It's what, like Karnak and Killmonger? I share your attachment to that pool, but it's not large. Ah, fair enough, Hayden. Okay, I see Hayden mentioned it. Not really, Bleezy. I don't want to put anything out there, because it will get twisted. Atuma's is true accuracy, not true strike. I said what I said. You're allowed to say what you say. It doesn't make you right. Bye-bye. There's a reason we haven't added a true effect since I joined the company. And I'm not saying I'm the reason. I'm just saying that, like, it's been more than that long, right? I'm not alone in considering that a significant mistake. Nah, there are two, TC. Did I forget like 6 of her abilities? I definitely didn't realize I had taken him below 50%, so that explains some of that. I did knock him down a few times. But why did I gain so many Furies? We weren't messing with his evade just yet. What the heck was just happening in that fight? Oh, instant bleeds expiring. Thank you. That does make sense. No, it doesn't, because it's not that skill node. No, I'm back to the same question. I don't know either. So you're in the clear. That made no sense. No, I think that it's a communication issue. I mean, I do think we overused the true effects, and I think that has led to some characters countering things they didn't need to counter just because, well, give them a true effect. True effects hit 2 things. What's the problem? But like, it's the communication error that everybody always complains about, right? It's difficult to remember which one does what. That's very stupid. It's like if instead of instead of corrosion, if Thanos' effect was called like cosmic poison, right? But then it still had the weird armor rider instead of the health reduction, right? And then let's say that like I don't know, Neuroshock was called mutant poison. But again, it still had the same rider and it actually prevented evade or prevented miss instead of reducing healing. And then we're just like, well, you just got to remember that mystic poison and cosmic poison, or mutant poison and cosmic poison, are different than regular poison. Like that's a terrible way to design things. And I don't think that that is like me saying anything that the people who came up with the true effects don't know. Like this is not me knowing better than them. It's just mistakes were made, right? It's very easy to say that in hindsight. Oh, Steven. How very rude. One cookie for you, Cat. Nice. Well, vigilance isn't called true vigilance because vigilance doesn't answer two things. Vigilance plus vigilance plus pursuit equals true focus, right? It's obvious, TC. I don't know why you're not following this. A true effect obviously hits two different defensive abilities. I'm completely kidding. But this is my point. No, no, no. See, that's where you're wrong, Akbar, because True Strike is itself two things. True Strike is true damage plus true accuracy. Don't make me defend this stupid freaking setup. I also really enjoy a 2-mon attack. This auto block node is so inconvenient. Come here, buddy. Thank you. Mental and emotional. If it makes y'all feel any better, this conversation absolutely would have made Kabam Niv put his head in his hands by now. He's the team lead. No, no, it is not, Mo. But that's funny. As far as I remember, True Strike has always countered auto block Akbar, but I could be wrong. There's no set rule for coming soon. You're not right, Aiden, but you're not totally wrong. How far in advance is that has changed over time. And sometimes characters are moved. Not often. It's normally when a movie gets delayed or something, but it has happened a few times. But generally we try and iron out full years. So like we are not 100% locked for all of 2026 yet, but we're close. Like we don't know who the Summoner's Choice rework winner is, obviously. We don't know who the 2026 Summoner's Choice winner is, obviously. That vote has not even started. That'll be sometime next year. And I think there's like one or two things that are still going through legal approvals. But for the most part, we have 2026 settled. And that means we also have some early drafts of 2027. And we've had most of 2026 settled for months. So, like, we plan pretty far in advance. Oof, I think that was my first cough of the stream. Mutant or science, and they put frickin' Sauron in here? That's just rude. That's very rude. Okay, what's the node? Okay, that one's fine. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Yeah, okay. I can just focus up here. Yeah, then I don't know, Akbar. I will definitely use High Evolutionary somewhere in here. Don't worry. Yeah, legal approvals is in just like everything has to go through legal approvals for Marvel, right? They have to go like, yes, we have enough control over this character to say, yes, you're allowed to use this character, right? Like, this game is fundamentally built on somebody else's IP. We have to pay attention to the legal side of things. Not bad for not having the debilitate up. I was kind of curious. Pretty good for a rank 2. Kind of warrior. Like, that's... Let's see. I know who my February champion is, and we haven't done any animation reviews. We're basically didn't work this last week because I was sick. I think it was 2 weeks before that, so mid-July that we had the brainstorm, like the very first meeting we have. And that's July to February. So that's not 9 or 10. But the concept art was already done at that point, and the model was almost done. So I guess you can say that we technically somebody getting paid by Kabam started earlier. But it feels a little disingenuous for me to say yes, a character can take 7 or 8 months because like it's not like that's the primary focus of a bunch of people the whole time. It's like one team is doing a little bit on it, and then another team is doing a little bit on it, etc. What? Oh, I guess I outranged it. Okay. You're familiar with the drama in the past over the X-Men and Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, right, Aiden? For the movies? There's similar stuff in gaming, is the short version. Clearly I should have brought Havoc. I didn't even read these nodes. Ouch. Well, that was fun. Okay, we're gonna read the nodes for the next one. Hmm. Ah, predictive guard was the part that I missed. Okay. Does that one even have a HUD element? If so, I missed it. Okay, then I missed it. Hey, Sentry. I mean, this should be the easiest one. Might as well do this. Excuse me. Whoops, I was late on that. Not even gonna get we didn't even get to the combo detonation. That's okay. That's what happens when you use a rank 4 in here. He does get. He's very weird looking. I agree. I think characters that you don't have in the basic are generally more precious than those in the Titan. And that's not discounting the Titan Crystal. That's the Titan Crystal serving its purpose, right? Get out of here with that nuance, TC. We don't do that here. Whoops. Trying to get out of the way there. Thanks, Ice. I appreciate that. I do need to get this done, but I'm probably not going to stream for too long today, simply because I do need to, save some voice for later. Here, the third person can just be... Interesting. Yeah, that does not say when the attacker dodges with dexterity. Okay, well, Dazzler's kind of cheating then. Not her fault. Node is just busted. I'm sorry to hear that, Cat. I completely understand why, but those were always a lot of fun. The incinerates I would expect for Longshot, because those are not on the hit event. Let me read the way the bleeds are described. It says the first hit. You know what that probably is? Is Longshot doing some weirdness to try and achieve the, like, how clean his numbers look. Like, it's probably not actually the bleeds. It's probably the bleeds on, like, a timer or something. Oh, not quite. But it is cheating a bit. Oh, no, it is. Yeah, no, it's doing it on a timer. I don't think we were gonna change that at this point, but Longshot should definitely be describing what he's doing more accurately. Yeah, I think so, Warrior. Stupid light attacks. I don't know, TC. That's a live ops question. Really messes with his healing. That's very annoying. There we go, that's better. Nothing. Yeah, see. Yeah, I'm not sure Longshot's gonna change much. I think it is fair to say that the first of his bleeds should be correctly capped. Because it's pretty difficult for you to look me in the face and tell me that that first bleed isn't inflicted on a hit. But I'm not sure all of them are going to be capped. Hey, Walrus, Arctic. I am feeling better, yeah. To say he doesn't understand is to imply he would care if he did, Snoops. Really did not think he still had that unblockable up. Something. I mean, the effective answer changes. What we're capped out, cap being short for capacity, as in our capacity is measured out relative to our other responsibilities at 5 weeks. Or sorry, not 5 weeks. I don't know why I said that. Oh, I was looking at the number five. Woo! My brain is still recovering. But we're assigned 10 weeks for a given character. When it really kind of depends on the designer how accurate that feels. A lot of us start thinking earlier, in part because the art process starts earlier. Like, obviously, I am nowhere near actually sketching out the kit for my February character. I'm still focused on my November one. But we already had the art brainstorm, right? And so, like, I'm starting to think there. It's important to think ahead of time, and then like it's not necessarily the only thing I'm doing for those 10 weeks, so like it fluctuates from character to character, from designer to designer, and just based on life, because obviously the time I'm putting towards my November character is a little bit different when I lose a week in the middle of playtesting time to COVID. um but yeah, the official answer is 10 weeks. That 10 weeks includes design reviews, playtests, like both kit playtests, tuning playtests, um, being around for chatting with the balance team for any changes they deem necessary, being on deck for bug fixing for anything QA finds, doing the info page, making sure the strings get translated for the info page, building out the spotlight, building the in-game HUD, coordinating with the quest team when they build the spotlight fights for EQ, tuning their prestige, their sig curves. There's just like a dozen dumb little pieces of it, you know? I mean, you get more efficient at it. I needed that full 10 weeks early on, and I usually feel like I kind of don't now. Like, I like having the 10 weeks on the calendar, to be clear. Um, but I am able to productively deal with more other things during those 10 weeks than I used to be able to. Which is like, that's I've gotten promoted since I first started, and that's a large part of why, right? Like, you're supposed to get more efficient. You're supposed to be able to be a more complete designer. Um, yeah, but I don't want to underplay it. Like, if any of y'all joined as an associate champion designer, the first couple times you actually have to meet those deadlines are stressful. It used to be 8 weeks. The only champion I actually had to design on an 8 week timeline was Kate Bishop. So you're welcome for the cold snap. Not proud of that. All right, let's do one more. Thanks, TC. The last one was a bit ago, but I still appreciate it. Yeah, that wasn't 4 months, but Deathless She-Hulk, Black Panther Civil War, and Deathless Thanos were 3 months in a row. And that I don't regret it, but it was certainly, let's go with, a significant risk. And it meant that I was a little bit on the back foot for Gene. I had the full amount of time for Gene, but I prefer to work ahead because it lets me find things and fix them on time. And I had to ask our gameplay team to cover me a little bit more than I'm normally comfortable with for her. So shout out to them for helping me out there. Yeah, I'm still very proud of Kate's design. Whoops. Jeez, I'm sorry. The character's just medium out of wake up was insane. Aren't I supposed to be doing armor breaks or something? No, okay, this is the one where I need to land armor breaks. Okay, well, what are you gonna do? Excuse me. Would I like to stay as a designer? Would I like to lead a team of designers? I don't have any interest in jumping to another team anytime soon. I don't have any of the skills necessary for the, the art process. To be clear there. I do think I have some skills for the balance team, but, like, they're very good at their jobs, and I prefer my job, honestly. I think I'm more suited to this. It scratches the creative itch better. I don't have to, like, go in a cave and run DPS numbers, which is how I affectionately refer to a fair amount of their process. And, like, I don't think that that is any kind of insult to them. It's just like it's a different job, right? And I think a lot of the people we have on the balance team are happier to do that kind of work. Um, and I'm happier to do this kind of work. But, like, there are some other jobs that have been interesting. I think I would be good at econ. I think it would make me sad. What else? Systems design is one that intrigues me. That's the kind of stuff that leads to full new game modes. That's a lot of game design in other companies, but I dip my toe into that when I help with the incursions in the Alliance War team, so it's not like I'm getting none of that. I like my job. There's a fair amount of diversity to it, and that's, like, every character designer does different things with the time that they get from becoming more efficient. I'm happy with what I'm doing. With the time I have. There's only been two, TC, but the first one was a while ago. That's all I meant. Yeah, I would prefer that too, Mo. Oh, that's right. He started immune to slow. That's very, very annoying. God, and I went over the 600 threshold just as the slow immunity came back. Alright, come on. No, I hear you, Cat. It's a fun mode, but when it becomes a grind, it becomes a grind. I'm not even going to touch that answer, Warrior, because it depends so much on what you consider to be a hard counter. And, like, even if we all agreed on an answer, you'd still have the issue... What am I thinking? Mind going blank. You'd still have the issue of we're not always in complete control. We, as in like the champion design team, are not in complete control when various classes come. Um, and so we don't always have the exact pacing that we want, is where I'm going with that. Yeah, that like reads like a pedantic question at first, Pablo, but you're completely right. Very good question. Come on, buddy. I'm not baiting out your power for sinister reasons. Come here, one more. Yeah, I think that makes sense, Easy. Like, I think it's a good size pool for the amount that most people are going to play that mode. I know I didn't throw the special one. I was thinking the Furies would finish it off for us, and I was almost right. Wow, what a pretty champion. I know, she's so elegant and, like, regal. Like, the design is vaguely, I want to say, royal? Alright, High Evolutionary is not going to be a good counter, but let's do it. Jean does not have non-contact basics. No. Hey, EK, thank you. This might be a terrible idea because I might be setting myself up to not heal with someone else, but whatever. Come on. You. Jerk. It's fine. That could have gone. That could have gone worse. Hey, Neos. A 1, a 2. Three. Joaquin was good for him. That does make sense. Who are you responding to there, Evie? Wait, they don't have one eye open, do they? No. It probably depends on how many times you plan on face tanking unblockable effects, Cyber. But how's it going? Yeah, it's fine. I knew that was coming. Should I have faithfully baited this special one the whole time? Absolutely. Bye-bye. No, Cat didn't fall down the stairs. She's just trying to trigger me. Hmm. Probably Mystic Pablo, but I don't like that question. I don't want to choose. Weird. I was expecting to be able to block there. Alright, throw it. That's not what I meant by it, and you know it. Right, right. Stun immunity. No, 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 no. That's fair. That's why I have game sounds turned off. Glug glug. It's weird. Should have been a medium. Oh, there's a lot of energy basic attacks. You're confusing it with non-contact. Not the same thing. A lot of tier 1 Mo is prep, right? It's prep and knowledge, because like if you want to play in tier 1, you probably have the raw skills. Like, just for wanting it, there's a decent chance you have the raw skills. But you don't have the experience. And you may or may not have the discipline to really make sure that you have a good fight plan for every single fight that you're not familiar with, right? To make sure you know the defender, to make sure that you understand, like, I would recommend for every single fight that you're looking at, you either need to be able to go, okay, I know why this defender was placed here. I know what the threat is. I know how to counteract it. And I specifically know how to counteract it with the character I'm assigned. Or you at least need to be able to do the first part of that and get at least your spidey senses going off on, like, I think I know why this defender was placed here. There's probably some danger in this area, but I don't necessarily know all of the pieces of it. Let me go ask an officer. And then you need to be willing to duel and boost to deliver on that. Like, that is basically what tier 1 comes down to. If you are skilled enough or experienced enough that the fight plan part becomes easier, then that is why some people say that tier 1 feels easy, because the hard part is pretty much done for them. Like, it kind of calcifies to a certain extent after a while. But like, tier 1 is a lot more about discipline and prep than it is just raw skill. Because very good players make mistakes in battlegrounds, or like find out that they take risks and it didn't work out this time, right? That's fine. For tier 1, you need to know when you can and cannot take risks, when you should take risks to close out a fight, when you should back off and wait. It's a different kind of battle IQ that you need to have, and it's difficult to describe fully before you've experienced it, if that makes sense. Yeah. What Akbar's saying about the mental game is kind of what I'm getting at in short. Not actively, Warrior. Na has streamed before, but hasn't been active for a bit. J-Nick had a channel. He's on the balance team if you want to check that out. But most of us do not maintain channels, both because of the time it takes and because I've curated a nice little corner over here, and I generally like y'all. I don't like everyone out there. And it can be unpleasant, getting to the point where you're your viewership is mainly people you like. Yeah, Jane crushed me on production values. I have no interest in doing that kind of stuff, but I really appreciated his videos. Sorry, cat. Hey, Brennan. That took a while. That's a first time dupe, though. I'm very happy with that. That's huge. Oops, I didn't play enough Battlegrounds. What else is new? Hey, Osfan, how's it going, man? Okay, that did take us over. I'd only been doing loose math, but I thought it might. Nice, Brennan. Congrats on that. That'll be cool. No, I get you. Saffron risotto with roasted bone marrow. Yeah, that does sound nice. Oh. This doesn't sound glamorous, but we've got a cold bean salad that's quite good. I'm gonna go with the leftovers for that. Then we've got some kiwi to go through. Yeah. Thank everybody for hanging out. I'll be back maybe tomorrow. Monday's a Canadian holiday, so I'll probably be streaming at least a little bit then, whether it's this or I'm on to Battlegrounds by then. But yeah, gonna try and make sure I get these videos ready now that I can actually speak for prolonged periods again. This was a nice little experiment. Yeah, take care, everybody.